So first of all, I've got to apologise for the lack of videos over the last week and a half, I think it was. My old camera, this one here, decided to pack in. So right at the very end of the last video, it just stopped working, but I managed to get it to run for like that extra minute, so that's probably why the last video seemed a bit more hurried than what I usually do for a sign off. Anyway, with that said, I now have a new camera. The old one's here. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this now. eBay it for parts, I'm guessing. But that's at least an explanation for the lack of videos. It's all back to normal now. From this week on, it's going to be 2 videos a week, hopefully, touch wood. So today, ignition points. Now I have said in previous videos that I'm going to put an electronic ignition system, it's like a Dynotech or something, on this Suzuki. Before I do that, before I take the old ignition points out, I thought I might as well put a video up there on how to set your ignition points for people that decide to keep the original mechanical points. I think you call them mechanical. They are essentially mechanical, not electrical. So what you've got are 2 little pincers that open and close, and that tells your ignition coils when to fire that pulse down into your spark plugs and all sorts. So yeah, I guess they are mechanical. So without talking about too much about what this video is going to entail, I'm just going to jump straight into it and show you how to set your points. So here you have the ignition points. What you have is, because the GS550 is a 4-cylinder bike, you've actually got 2 points on this, and then you've got 2 ignition coils. So what you'll find is that this one on the left here will control pistons number 1 and 4, and this one on the right will control pistons 2 and 3. His entire backplate, as you spin that will control the timing of pistons 1 and 4, and then you have a separate section here. This can be adjusted independently of the actual main plate, and that will then allow you to set 2 and 3. So what you tend to do is you set 1 and 4 first, and then set 2 and 3 afterwards. You also need one of these, which is a feeler gauge. Now, looking at the book, I need a gap of between 0.3 and 0.4 mil. So on your feeler gauge, you can, let's get 0.3. So that's that there. If that is in focus, it's hard to tell with this lens. So there are essentially 2 things that you need to adjust on points. You need to adjust where the gap opens and closes, and you need to adjust the gap itself. So the feeler gauge is to adjust the gap itself, so that goes in between your gaps here. You set them, that's that. If you look inside this little hole here, first of all at top dead center, and also there's another mark as well for when your spark plug actually fires. So before you start turning the whole engine, one thing I can tell you to do is take out all the spark plugs. That'll obviously get rid of your compression and make it a lot easier to actually turn the engine as and when you need it. Use one of these sockets as well. Use it on the big nut you can see there, and then that'll easily turn your engine as you want it. So at the moment it's on 2 and 3. So let's just turn this over. And you can see that there are 2 marks. There's one mark at the very top. That's the mark you need to set your timing to. That's fixed all the time. And there's a second mark down there. That is where your actual timing of your engine is. So if we move it to that there, you can see there's a T there. That T means that the engine, or the cylinders, let's say for cylinders 1 and 4, are at top dead center. If I turn it a bit more, you can see that mark there. With that, let's turn it back. Wow, it's absolutely raining out there. This mark here now means that pistons 1 and 4 are at firing. You see that the actual firing is after top dead center. So zooming back out, we know that at this very moment here, when that line is at the top there, pistons 1 and 4, or pistons 1 or 4 I should say, should be firing. So what you'll see is that gently, bang on there, these little points should be closing, and then when it closes it should actually send a signal to your ignition coil, and then that is what delivers the spark. So the first thing we need to do is set the gap for that. So we need to take that to its widest point, which is about there. Select a feeler gauge of 0.3. Open this screw here and this one here, and make sure that that gap is at 0.3 right there. So with this gap now set for pistons 1 and 4, we now know that this needs to close exactly at the point of firing 1 and 4. And the best way to do this is with one of these. So what this is simply a light circuit. So whenever the circuit is complete, this light here should come on. Fix this to one side, fix that onto the negative part of the body, and hopefully my camera should pick up when it actually lights up. So let's put that there actually. So that should be going off at firing, but it's not at the moment. It should be going off about there. So what I need to do now is open these screws and turn this. So what you'll find here is that you can actually turn this now so that it comes on and off. So we need to set it so that exactly when that little F notch reaches the top, this is about to come on. So we can set it to there. Tighten that up. Let's see if this works now. So if I move it back, that should be on. And then when I move it along, when it reaches F, which is there, that light should go off. So it should go off right about there. So for 2 and 3 you need to spin this all the way around until you get firing 2 and 3. Wind this back to its widest spot. Check your gap. And lucky that is actually set right from what I did before. Connect this up. Start your ignition. As you can see, that lights up now. When it goes to firing, that's on, and it should go off there. Nope, it's going back on. There you go. And that's side 2 and 3 set, so that's a lot quicker than 1 and 4 as well, only because that had the gaps already set on there. And that's essentially all it takes to set your points. So of course with these mechanical points a lot can go wrong. These can wear down, obviously because they're opening and closing, you know, thousands of times. This can wear down, so luckily these are new points. I've just put new points on them. So they can wear down, you need to adjust your points quite often. Also, if you've got some metallic dust, if you've been grinding or anything around the workshop, and or even, you know, some metallic dust going in there, that can actually complete the circuit when you don't want it to, and all sorts. Basically why I'm changing it to an electronic ignition point. It does everything for you. So that's basically it. That's how to set your ignition points, and I've tried to make this video as short, as simple as possible. Like I said, a feeler gauge, screwdriver, and that's pretty much all you need to actually set your points. Having said all that, my points are going to be made redundant now, so I'll probably lob those on eBay as well. So hopefully in the next week or so I should have the new Dynotech Electronic ignition points. And that's really the way you want to be. If you can make your life as stress-free as possible when it comes to these bikes, why not? So as well as waiting for the Dynotech for the GS, I've also got the shims that I need to order, which I'll do tomorrow. I've now measured exactly what I need to do for the shims, exactly what shims I need to replace. Using this tool here next week, I'll be replacing those. And also I've got the jet. So hopefully the GS will be on the road sometime soon at least. An update on the CX500, the powder coaters themselves have said that I can film the actual process, which is great. I'd love to put that on my channel, and then we can put that bike back together. So as I say on the end of every video, if you like what you see, if you want to stay updated with both the GS550 and the CX500, then don't forget to subscribe. Click that bell as well if you want to receive real-time notifications of when there's new videos and new updates to the channel itself. Follow me on Instagram, there's always pictures on that, on how the bike's getting along. And also I have a new t-shirt out as well, the Built Not Bought t-shirt. I've been working on this design for a couple of weeks now. I think it's a true statement for any person that builds their own bikes. There's that sense of achievement and that sense of pride of actually having built your own bike and not bought it. So if you support the cause, check out these t-shirts at featherboldindustries.com. I nearly forgot my own web address then. How can I do that? But anyway, I'll see you next week.